Today's news was pretty devastating, to say the least. I did shed a tear, as you saw in my short video. A man that started a channel doing his own thing at 18 has built quite an empire for himself. I heard he was like, his net worth is in the millions. He definitely succeeded at life when it came to acquiring wealth for himself through his nonprofit, Turning Point USA, and the funding he got from the Republican Party and Republicans and wealthy donors. Charlie Kirk was always one of those people. Whenever he would come on the screen, I'd always say, what is his thing? What is his shtick? What is he getting at? Is he just doing this because he knows this is something that is a spot that a lot of young people are looking for? They're looking for somebody that looks like them, sounds like them, has questions, and he just wants to, gain notoriety. He wants fame. What does he want, right? Because there's always something people want in the end. But after watching him for at least a decade, off and on, people come on your screen. You can't help but watch what they have to say. I felt like he was truly looking to help young people find their voice, to be able to help them question the things they're being taught at universities, to question whether or not their beliefs are coming from, from themselves, or if it's being forced on them. My husband said that he heard on the radio that he was using a lot of the Socratic philosophy, Socrates, Plato, those type of people. They taught in a way that wasn't cookie cutter, just let me get on stage and just give you a giant speech, which is what we see all of the major players do. When you see Obama, Hillary, any of these people talk, they go and give speeches, tell you what they think. It's rare, unless they're being interviewed, like a celebrity sit-down interview style, that they actually give any true feeling about who they are. And that's why this last campaign with Donald Trump was an interesting one, because we got to see him for who he really was. He sat down with Theo Vaughn. He sat down with, I think, Joe Rogan. I think he was on many people, a lot of very popular YouTube channels, a lot of popular social media commentators' channels. And given his son, Barron Trump, is a college student himself, and going through this process of being on college campus and being indoctrinated, because that's really what happens when you go into college, is you get indoctrinated. And you have to be very careful to know that once you get on those campuses, these professors are going to make you question everything that you ever believed in, because that's what the world is. It's a lot of, well, this is how I feel about it. That is perspective, You got 5 people looking out the same window over there. You could say, everybody look at the window and look out the window, but depending on where you're standing, you're going to have a different viewpoint of that mountain. Charlie Kirk was one of those people that made you question your beliefs. He was Christian. I heard he has 2 children and was married. He was surrounding himself around MAGA, meaning he was pushing this Make America Great Again narrative that Donald Trump coined. And he definitely was a strong political speaker. He had an opinion on everything, and he was not afraid to voice that opinion. Finding out he did this from the time he was 18, it really hit close to my heart. When I was 18 and how I operated, I was a dum-dum at 18. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what was up and what was down. And for this kid to have these opinions and to be able to sit there and talk the way he did, with such conviction and critical thinking, and being able to really decide for himself what he wants to believe in and not have other people force it down his throat, it was eye-opening to watch, because it proved to me that there are people in our country that can think for themselves and that can voice their opinion in a way that's articulate and well thought out. Now, whether or not you believed his position, whether or not you agreed with his stance on, transgender or politics or Donald Trump or any of it, it didn't matter. The fact is, at the end of the day, if you don't like someone, people, you can turn off the television. You can opt out of going to the event. However, I will say what's so sad is on college campuses. I remember in college them forcing us to attend certain events. And this is what was the huge ordeal under the Biden administration. Things forced down our children's throat. Like yesterday, I think it was just yesterday, Trump, he was giving some speech about how he's going to allow prayer back in school. And he had some little kid come on stage, and the little kid said this.
When I was in 5th grade, my school forced me to teach my kindergarten buddy about changing his gender using a book called My Shadow is Pink. The book said you can choose your gender based on feelings instead of how God made us. I knew this was not right, but I was afraid of getting in trouble. After my family spoke up, the school treated us badly, and kids started bullying me and my brother because of our faith. And the school did nothing to stop it. It hurt a lot, but I kept trusting God. I believe kids like me should be able to live our faith at school without being forced to go against what we believe. I hope no other family has to go through what mine did. Thank you.
And so you see there, the fact that a child's telling you they forced me to read this material to another person, another child that's younger than me, it says a lot about where this country is. This country is being indoctrinated from our education system. So rightfully so, a person like Charlie Kirk going to stand up against the biggest institution that brainwashes and teaches our children how to be, how to act in the society is somebody that I believe a huge bounty would be put on their head to take them out. Because college indoctrination is a huge, critical part of making sure America stays the course and pumps out good little worker bees and boys and girls that don't question anything. And so seeing this today, I cried, I wept, because we're going to get a lot of details. They said the gunman still is on the loose. I will show you a clip of the video. And so this video won't be made for kids. I saw it, I was like, he's not alive. There's no way. There was too much blood. It was in a major vein. And it was telling of the time we live in. You know, a young man of his stature, he's fighting for politicians, huge politicians, you know, being their right-wing man, going out and fighting for them. Makes you question why. Because what's going to happen from this is two things. One, you're going to have videos like this of this woman screaming on TikTok, enraged about what happened.
Other fucking animals! You liberal, progressive, deranged fucking animals! You are so hateful in your hearts to go out and shoot a young man who's never hurted anyone with Christian values, a young, beautiful family, a father, a husband, a friend, a son. You shot him. Why? Because you didn't agree with his politics? Because you didn't agree with his ideology? That's the reason why he deserves to die? You fucking animals!
This other one, a guy I followed many of times on TikTok and then unfollowed and followed again. But he, you know, he has the same rage in his voice.
So here's my synopsis of what just happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm telling you right now, liberal influencers and liberals and I can't even talk right now. I'm so fucking pissed. Y'all are fucking terrorists. Liberals are the fucking terrorists of the fucking planet. Y'all are the ones who are creating all this fucking bullshit and all this crime. I don't give a fuck who fucking hears me. Y'all fucking liberal content creators that are paid by the fucking liberal DNC, and y'all liberal content creators that fucking incite violence and all this bullshit. Y'all are terrorists, because none of us have ever and will ever go up there while one of your fucking little influencers are talking and shoot them in the fucking neck. But guess what? Bet. This is what you fucking do. This is what you do. For people that have free think and free speech, you go and fucking shoot somebody in the fucking neck because you can't handle your little fucking feelings. Bet. Ooh, I'm so fucking hot right now. I'm so hot because it's all fucking Democrat bullshit that's so fucking violent and nasty. Y'all are fucking nasty.
Watch those videos combined, you realize that there's going to be a turning point indeed. You know, no pun intended. Now, I didn't want to agree with my husband that this could embolden or enrage MAGA, but we're already seeing it now. MAGA has become enraged. There are people not just upset, but angry that people would take this and do this. And they're already blaming the liberal left.
Because he dared to speak out against a political ideology that he didn't agree with. Once again, liberals have killed Charlie Kirk. I don't know what to say about this from here on. I don't know where to go about this. Liberals are celebrating. Something is massively wrong with them, and this needs to be sorted out immediately. So I'm calling on a movement to begin to stop progressive violence here in the United States, one way or another. Once again, Charlie Kirk has passed away at the age of 31 at the hands of a violent liberal who shot him at a campus event while trying to have nothing but free speech dialogue. I blame social media for allowing this behavior to constantly come after conservatives and allow liberals to do anything they want. Liberals have been allowed to get away with everything for a very long time. Enough is enough. Charlie Kirk is dead and you murdered him. Liberals cannot be trusted, and I do not want liberals anywhere near me. If you are a liberal progressive and you are celebrating Charlie Kirk's demise, I want you to block me and leave. Never come my way again. Don't ever contact me again. Liberals have crossed the Rubicon by declaring war on conservatives now. This is a time for mourning followed by a time for action. DM me if you want to know more.
Now, do I know who did it? No, I wasn't there. And it's strange to me that on a campus with hundreds of people, possibly thousands, no one saw anything. So hopefully the cameras will pick up who the right person is, because now the suspect that they had on his knees, this gentleman here, this isn't the right person at all. This was just some guy that they thought did it, but he didn't do it. So now the suspect is at large, and they're putting all these guards on citizens of Utah and telling them, guys, stay in your house. The suspect is still at large.
Camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the quality of that is. But we do know dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't have a much better description other than that.
Where do you believe the shot came from?
The shot came from here on campus, from a location at a fair. Potentially from a roof, yes. A longer distance shot from a roof.
So to clarify, with the security camera footage you have and the person of interest that's in custody, does that match up?
That's what we're trying to decipher right now.
So did FBI or DHS have anything on the threat board this morning?
I can't speak.
I'll just say that the investigation's ongoing, and as soon as we have further information, we will be sure to release it.
Any indications of foreign intelligence involvement?
As of now, I can't comment on any of that.
Somebody who would do this and they hit their target, I believe they're patting themselves on the back thinking, I did a good job, because this mirrors exactly what Trump went through during his campaign run from the White House by the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. He said, in memory of Kirk, they're going to lower the flag at half staff at the White House and upon any public building and ground, and all military posts and naval stations. All of this is going to be until September 14th, 2025. And he did put out a statement saying the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. Listen, I can't tell you how bad this is. So, okay, we know that he was shot in the neck at a speaking engagement at Utah Valley University. The shot was fired at 12:20 local time as he was taking questions from a student. He immediately collapsed. He was announced in critical condition. It didn't look good. His colleague told CBS and BBC's U.S. partner a suspect was reportedly in custody until they realized he wasn't the real suspect. And the university says one shot was fired from 200 yards away. Wow. What precision. What precision. And they're still figuring out what the motive is, despite what you heard there with all the people yelling that it's a liberal. You know, we don't know what the motive is. We don't know much yet. And it's interesting because I was listening to the radio with my husband, and a lot of them were saying, you don't hear a peep out of the Democrats. You don't hear a peep out of anyone. And as you can see, that's simply not true. And like I said in my video where I was crying, this is the problem with America. We have become beyond divided, where no one is looking at the bigger picture here. No one is saying the quiet part out loud, which is this is going to do a couple of things. It's going to either radicalize more people on the left if this guy doesn't get caught, or girl. And it's also going to put some, I would say, some brakes on people in the media that talk about politics. I know when I had started my channel immediately, I thought politics is not the best field to talk about because it's so divisive, it's so vile, it's so corrupt that Americans don't even realize they're supporting things that they don't even have any clear understanding of. The corruption comes from both the left and the right. It's the same bird, two wings, same bird. I witnessed that today listening to the congressional hearing about Epstein, where many people said no, they don't want the files released.
But now all of a sudden with Jeffrey Epstein and all these people in these files, they don't want to release. They don't want the truth.
So this is a corrupt system. You're basically protecting criminals. And do political pundits, people like you and I that maybe have a YouTube channel, or people out there maybe just sharing their opinions about politics, do you want to put your life on the line? That's the question people are going to ask themselves. Do I want to run the risk of being murdered, either by my own government, I'm alleging here, but come on, JFK, or do I want to be put down by my fellow neighbor because they don't agree with me? I'm going to tell you a story. When I first moved here, I had a neighbor I was very close to. We became fast friends. And the moment we started talking politics, our friendship dissolved. This person immediately turned on me. This is a person that we've shared play dates. My daughters babysat their kid. We hung out. We, had trick-or-treating together. And all of a sudden, this person decided, I no longer can be your friend. We saw this with, the election, where family members were literally telling other family members, I can't be around you. I don't want to share Thanksgiving with you. And it was even being held up by people in the media, like Joy Reid, telling people you shouldn't break bread with your family this Thanksgiving because they don't share your political beliefs. This world is becoming too divisive and too corrupt when it comes to politics. None of these people, I can assure you, none of them have your interests at heart. None of them care if you eat or survive. In fact, the bigger picture, I believe, and this is in my heart of heart, is that they hope that you will be the paupers that will lick their boot for food and eat bugs while they eat filet mignon and fly around in their private jets and live in their big mansions. Who needs 12, 13 mansions, Zuckerberg? Who needs an underground bunker if they don't have any kind of enemies? You see what I'm saying? You're protecting people and fighting hard to defend people that don't have your best interests at heart.
A lot of people are afraid to speak up on anything. I mean, what are other creators doing right now? They're probably just battling and pretending like this didn't happen, right? See, I can't do that. I couldn't join a battle right now and just be like, yep, everyone, let's get the speed, taps and roses. How can anyone be doing it? Because they don't care. That's why I'm answering my own questions.
We are in spiritual warfare. This is what real spiritual warfare is. We are dealing with demons.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple.
I suggest more people go read their Bible and start looking for the truth in there, because it'll paint a real picture of what has always been at the bottom of this, a spiritual battle between good and evil. And today, evil won. It won by silencing the voice of a young man. Charlie Kirk, 31 years old, lost his life for just speaking his truth. Have a great day and think for yourself.